Hi everyone, it's me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 6 years. And recently I just got back from a trip to Ontario, Canada, and there was a lot of Canadian culture stuff that really shocked me. So today I have 9 reverse culture shocks that I had as a Canadian visiting Canada. If you like this video, and you want to see more videos, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be wonderful? Please consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's go. Now, number 1 of our reverse culture shock in Canada, to me, this is a personal one, maybe a bit niche, but how deeply quiet it is at night. Now in Ontario, Ontario is very big. You can fit multiple Englands in Ontario, and Ontario is just one province of Canada. Okay, we're not gonna do a geography lesson, but Ontario is huge, and I find that homes typically in Ontario are much more spread out. You have a bit of breathing room, where here in England, the homes are often like terraced homes. They're attached, you're close together. And for me, where I have lived so far in England, being attached to other properties and having sort of very close neighbors, it always feels quite loud at night. But I've gotten used to it. So when I went back to Canada, especially at night, even during the day though, but especially at night, it was shocking how quiet it was. And I do think this particular flat has kind of warped my opinion on this topic, because we have very thin windows here. So we hear everything outside. You can even hear someone's conversation as they walk past. Like, you can hear literally everything. So it was quite shocking to be like laying in bed at night in Ontario and silence. Just absolute silence. Number 2, we have allergies. Yay! Now, allergies is not something that I think about day to day. I don't think about it because, quite frankly, I don't deal with allergies in England. I just don't. Unfortunately, when I arrived in Ontario in June, wow, the pollen and the allergies were unreal. So that was quite surprising. I don't remember dealing with that before, but I don't know, it's been a long time. So I was having to take allergy medicine pretty much every morning. I'd take like the 24-hour stuff each morning because the pollen and the allergies were through the roof. And it's not just being sensitive to pollen or being sensitive to like seasonal allergies or that kind of thing. You can literally see the pollen when you are out and about in Ontario, especially certain times of the year. I know my mom's car would just overnight be covered in pollen the next day, that she would actually rinse it off with the hose quickly, because it was just like the car is just encased in pollen. And it had only been, 24 hours, And so the amount of pollen, any Canadians watching will know, it's just it's insane. And if you've ever seen those videos on the internet where like a tree moves or a bush moves and there's like this big cloud of yellow dust, that is pollen. That is the type of stuff you can see in Ontario at certain times of the year. And let me tell you, I don't miss it. So pollen and allergies was quite shocking, quite surprising. No, thank you. Number 3 on our list of reverse culture shocks I had as a Canadian going back to Canada, and this one I call high skies. Now this one's a little bit hard to explain, so let me try my best. Typically, my personal experience, my personal opinion in Ontario, it feels like the ceiling on the sky is really high. Even if there's some clouds, it feels like the clouds are so much more high. Like there's just clear skies. You can see really far away. It just feels like there is a high limit to the sky. And maybe that doesn't make any sense. I'm not totally sure. It makes sense in my mind. Whereas here in England, typically, even on nice days, it can be overcast, it can be cloudy, and even on clear, sunny days, it just feels like the roof on the sky is a lot lower. I don't know if any of this makes sense to anybody else. It just feels like a bit more low down. It's cozy, you know, but it's not the high sky, high ceiling feeling that I get in Ontario. That probably makes sense to absolutely no one, so let's move on. Number 4, guess what? The kettle takes too long. Now, I'm not gonna dive into the specifics because I don't know and I don't really care, and I'm sure people are gonna put it in the comments anyway. The power, the voltage or the amps or something to do with the power is different between Canada and the UK, all right? That's why in Canada, we have outlets in the bathroom. You can charge your toothbrush in the bathroom. You can blow dry your hair in the bathroom. It's fine because you will have an outlet. Now, unfortunately, this means that boiling a kettle from the outlet in the kitchen takes forever. Truly forever. Whereas here in England, our kettle, I swear, boils in like 60 seconds. It is so quick, you don't even think about it. I never really considered it until having to do it in Canada, and it would just take forever. Number 5 on our list, pop to the shops takes a lot longer than expected. Now, of course, I know that Ontario is very spread out. I know that you have to travel distances to get to places, the grocery store being one of them, but having not had to do that in a long time, I just kind of forgot. So when we would pop to the shops, which obviously is a British way of saying that, when we would go to the store, I forgot that it does take time. Even going to like the closest grocery store, you might even be driving on the highway, so you are like going fast, still takes a long time. Now, I'm very spoiled here in England because England actually has walkable towns, has walkable villages. When you pop to the shops, you may even be able to walk there, which is incredible. Not something that I ever had in Canada, and I probably never will. It's just not really possible for like 99% of the population. But here you can actually walk places. You can pop to the shops. It doesn't take all day. I absolutely love it. Number 6 of reverse culture shock, doggy bags. Let me explain. And this is my personal opinion, and maybe you disagree, and that's absolutely fine. I don't care. My personal opinion is that in England, in the UK, culturally, you typically don't take leftover food from a restaurant home. Typically. You eat what you can, and then you go home. Typically, you don't bring it with you. In Canada and in Ontario, I think there's much more of a acceptance on what we call doggy bags. So if you do not finish your food, it is more than okay to get a doggy bag to bring it home. Some people even order extra food that they know they will not be able to eat simply to take it home. Okay? Does that make sense? So when we went out to eat, I had fish and chips because, you know, I am who I am. I had fish and chips. I didn't quite finish all of it. And my sister's like, do you want a doggy bag for that? And I was like, what? Doggy bags? I totally forgot. So it's something I find, in my humble opinion, maybe Canadians can let us know in the comments, doggy bags or bringing food home or taking like leftovers home from a restaurant is totally fine, totally acceptable. Again, some people order stuff just to take it home. They know they're not gonna eat it. And not just like mains, we're talking soups, we're talking sauces, we're talking fries, like anything that you order, you can take home. Whereas I find in the UK, that's typically not really a thing. I couldn't tell you the last time I had a doggy bag or taken home leftovers from a restaurant in the UK. I just feel like it's not really part of the culture too much. Number 7, we have ice machines in the fridge. Now, this may be getting more popular in the UK, I think, as more and more people have American style fridges that have a ice maker built into the door. However, in all the homes and all the flats that I have lived in so far in England, I've never had one, but I think in Canada, in Ontario, it's much more common. Fridges are bigger and they have the space and the capacity to have an ice maker in the door, and I love it. So my mom's fridge in the kitchen has a water dispenser and has an ice maker, especially in the summertime when it's, 35 degrees. beautiful, hot and sunny, and you just want to add some ice to your drink, you can just pop it in the door. The ice cubes come out. Oh my God, what an incredible invention. And I'm sure those exist here in the UK, especially, again, getting more American style fridges, but I've never had them. I don't think I've seen anyone with them. I know they probably exist, but it's not that popular yet. But I can't wait for the day when it does become popular because I truly love it. Now, number 8 on our list is very niche. And you maybe never thought of this before, but let me tell you, I have. So let me just set the scene, okay? In Canada, power outlets are 2-prong thingies, okay? And they're usually pretty short. And I found, and my partner found, that when we were trying to charge our tech, our laptops or our phones or whatever, and you'd have sort of like a large charging thing where you can plug in multiple things. Are you following? It would very often fall out of the wall or like be hanging out of the wall. I think 1, because it's heavy, 2, because the prongs are short, and 3, because we don't have that third prong in outlets in Canada. Is any of this making sense? Whereas here in the UK, power outlets are the 3 prongs. They're also, the prongs themselves are longer. And I just find when we have like the large power adapter thingies plugged into the wall, so maybe our phone cord is plugged into that, maybe a laptop cord, maybe a camera battery charging cord is plugged into that. It's secure and it's like tight in the outlet. Okay, this is something I've actually thought about, all right? But I did find in Canada, a lot of that stuff was like falling out of the wall. Even we bought one that has a Canadian plug, like we weren't using an adapter. Does this make any sense? We bought one in Canada, so we didn't have to use a power adapter. It would just go straight into the wall, right? And I left it in Canada so we can use it anytime we go back to Canada. So it was a Canadian one, and even still, it kind of like hangs out the wall. I just didn't like it. And this probably bothers like 0.3% of the population, but I am part of that percentage. Number 9 on our reverse culture shock list, Canada versus the UK. The price of food and the amount that it was picked over. Truly shocking. Now, I think this has only gotten worse lately, and I hope it goes back to how it used to be, but I was quite shocked at the price of food, but also the amount that the shelves were picked over. And it's not like we were grocery shopping on like peak times per se. We shopped a variety of different days, different time of day, and different shop. And they all had the same problem, that they were often picked over or there'd be huge gaps missing. And the price of what was available was truly shocking. So for one instance, we went to Walmart. So Walmart is, I think, like the budget grocery store. It's gonna be the cheapest. They're usually huge, so they have lots of different items and a lot of stock. Even Walmart was picked over, like it was quite shocking. But we wanted to make a pasta sauce. And the main thing in it is like tomatoes, canned tomatoes, which is fine, easy, got that, no worries. And mascarpone cheese, okay? So we bought a little tub of mascarpone cheese at Walmart. It was $14, which I think is about 9 British pounds. I was shocked. We stood there for a little bit and we thought, should we not do this? Well, and then I was like, well, we're already here and we already planned it and we got everything else. We'll just buy this tin, this thing of cheese, $14 for this little tub of cheese. I was blown away. So I don't remember the cost of food or being picked over like that previously. And I think perhaps maybe it's the current economic climate and world events currently happening. I really truly hope for all my fellow Canadians' sake that it goes back to the way it used to be, because it was truly shocking. And there is nothing worse than going to Walmart, the budget grocery store, buying just a couple of things and all of a sudden it's over $100. It was just like horrible. It's kind of crazy how I'm Canadian. I identify as Canadian. In all my videos, I say I'm Canadian, although a lot of you guys think I say comedian, which, all right, fair. I even have a Canadian flag in my videos. And yet, going home to Canada, I was really shocked and surprised by some of the cultural differences, some of the things that I don't like or I don't agree with or I just don't want. You don't really think about it until you've been away, if that makes sense. And there was a lot of things that I just, bother me or are a little bit annoying. Lots of things that I prefer in Canada, but it's just kind of crazy. I don't know, maybe that's just me. If you like this video and you want to see more videos, check out this one where I share 8 ways that the UK and Canada are totally different. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!